I'm just recording this for posterity. It's 10 p.m. I think it's Tuesday night, the 30th of January, and there's water dripping off the roof of the workshop. 30th of January, and there's water dripping off the roof. How is that even possible? Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, it's not our usual start to a video. Just working in the workshop. I was on the phone today with the company, the bully dog for the programmer for the truck. I got no further ahead because something weird was going on with the laptop, and it was asking for access to our files on our laptop to do something, and I panicked and I said, nope, I'll just wait till the grown-up of the house is here. So Mrs. Piper Doug was away on her job, away working at another place, so she's back now. So I panicked. I was like, so yeah, so she's back. She can take care of Dad. Gotta be careful of this. These bales are starting to sag out now. These little tots could climb through there. I fix this. Anyway, so yeah. Glad you clicked on the video. I didn't realize why I have the flashlight on my camera. I don't normally do that. Ladies look good. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy the video. Well, that's not factory. Apparently I've got a wireless Bluetooth bale port. Damn it! What are we doing today, Piper Doug? As there's water dripping from the loader. Yeah, look at this. I got the windows open. It's too hot in here. We're talking about that. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I am setting out bales because Billy's coming over. So some of you might remember Billy. Billy's the gravel guy. Well, Billy is a construction guy. He's a farmer. He has cows and bulls, and I wouldn't even know where to begin with what Billy has, because Billy's awesome. So Billy hauled shale in the fall, and he traded loads of shale for hay. So Billy's coming to get his hay. So there's a stack here, and this is the stuff that Billy's taking from. This is third cut. This is pure alfalfa, and you can make out the color right there. Pretty darn good stuff, if I do say so myself, because I said it myself and I know my voice and I recognize my voice. So I'm setting the bales out to get that snow and ice melted off, because thanks to Mother Nature, any bales that are close by each other and the snow has set in there and melted and frozen, melted and frozen, melted and frozen, melted and frozen, they're now stuck together. So I'm tentatively pulling them apart, trying to save the net wrap, get out and cut it when I need to. And I'm going to set them out here so they can melt, so when he's loading them, they're not going to get all cattywampus on us. I think those bales far away there, I'm going to have to pull them apart too. The double stack ones, they're good. That's how I'm going to be stacking bales from now on. As you can see, the rest of the stacks are all either single file or double stacked. We will no longer be triple stacking. Learned that the hard way last year. So these ones were just stuck in here because there was bales here, which were sold. So that's why there's a gap here, and then these ones get stuck over here. So I am pulling these out, so nothing too advantageous about that. Mrs. Piper Duck is going to help me try and get that truck programmed today because she knows computers. Piper Duck doesn't know computers, doesn't like them. I've had a lot of great input and questions about the old door here. And yes, I am going to be putting a limiter on it at some point. And yes, the strap from the net wrap, that is exactly what I'm going to be using. Because for the most part, when you open this sucker, it stays there. So it's not like we need to do a ram thing. I still got to put a notch on here because rumbling along the road, this does kind of vibrate around. Anyway, a question I've been asked by a couple of different people was to make sure I can get out in a case of emergency if the loader is halfway up or something like that. Well, I'm not going to do it here, but you don't have to go out very far, about that far, and you can actually pull the door off. Before it gets to that spotlight, there's a spotlight. There's a spot where you can lift the door up behind the spotlight and the door will fall out. And then if you go all the way out, it'll do just fine. But a lot of people might not have realized this, but I took the cages. I'll see if I can do this. Hope you at least saw that. I took the cages off this. So I could technically squeeze out through here. But I tell you, if Piper Duck was motivated, the side of this cab would be getting removed too. Technically could lift the whole cab right off myself, but I wouldn't want to do that. This has an emergency, hopefully you can see that. This has the emergency pull out on the back window, and the back window is not great to begin with, so I could probably just push it and it would disappear. So, you're all good. Thanks for thinking of me though. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this because I want to get that truck done. Happy February, everybody. Yay, February 1st. Woohoo! Another landmark moment. January's out of the way. Oh. Okay. So what are we up to? Well, as you see, it's daytime. Very foggy daytime. It's actually is quite foggy outside. If the light can shift. Yeah, we're foggy again. So, I have welded the two little buttons for the door, so the handle hopefully is no longer going to have issues. While I had the machine in here, there was an issue. I think they used to have like a light bar, a flashing light bar back here on this machine, but it was gone when I bought it, and there was a hole torn in the roof skin. So it always kind of bugged me because it would let moisture down into the roof. So I figured it doesn't have to be pretty, just put a patch in. So I did that. So yes, I was up here tack welding this in because this is actually quite thin metal. This couple of blowholes because I think there's some rust started, and as I'm welding I felt a shift. Yeah, now in my defense, this window was already broken. You might see it in some previous videos. It was cracked all over the place. That's not the issue. The issue was I tried feeding the rubber back into the frame, and the whole window had shifted. So it's almost like the window was too small for the opening. I don't know whether they replaced the glass at some point, or I don't know, just wrong glass. I don't know. Needless to say, it has escalated because, well, I need to take it out. I was going to take it out to put it back in. Well, it all started coming apart. It looks like it's laminated glass. But why did it come apart then? So, what we're going to do then is Because when life gives you lemons, you get drunk. I got a piece of that still kicking around, and that's just big enough to make another back window. So, yep, she's getting an acrylic back window. As long as it seals it up, I don't care. It'll do for now. Like I said, that back window was shot anyway. So, that's going to be tonight's project. Yeah! Still no update on the truck programmer. That's fun. Tried calling a few times. Felt my life slipping away from me as I was on hold. So that's fun. Oh yeah, I was just cutting a bunch of bars out of a bale feeder because the one group of bulls keeps picking up the bale feeder and chucking it around. And I went and measured it against the bale feeder in the other bull pen. Turns out the spars are closer together on that one. Well, they're no longer there anymore. I cut every second one out. So they have their own dedicated bale feeder now. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do the first speeding of the day because we always speed right after lunch. We get the first crew done and then we go do our projects and then we feed last thing in the day, like at supper time. Anyway, plug this guy in. I never have to put another window in this machine ever again, it'll be too soon. Yeah, the rear window in the F350 was 10 times easier than that. You're wondering, oh, it's a small window. Yeah. Probably the first thing that stands out to reason is the more complicated is that it's acrylic. It's not a piece of glass, so it's not as solid. And yes, it cracked, because that's where the final culmination of pulling the seal in, it cracked right at the end. You can't make this stuff up, people. And yeah, that's how much the rubber had shrunk. So unless the glass had shrunk that was in there, they put a loose fit piece of glass in there. No, the big reason why it was an absolute butthole, yes, I said butthole, is because of, see if I can get you in here, that thing. The pull-out cord, and yes, it's a little bead that runs around the inside of that rubber. Yeah, it's actually, some of it has come back out again, and I'm not touching it right now. I'm going to let the rubber relax. Yeah, I fought with that for an hour. That one little window for an hour. So I made the sheet a 1/4 inch bigger, that way and that way, to make allowances. And yes, I test fitted it in the hole and made allowances for the thickness of the rubber center. So this is a snug fit because I knew the acrylic is not as thick as what the glass was, almost by twice as much. So I figured it better be snug. So what I might do afterwards is go around with one of those window seal caulkings and just flick up the rubber and put a tiny little bead of silicone around it just to glue it down, just to be sure. Oh my gosh. Oh, I had envisioned just getting a piece of acrylic and gluing it to the outside of the cab. That was a nightmare. Once I was 3/4 in, I was committed. And like I said, got to the top and I was in and out and in and out and in and out that cab, tucking the rubber back in because it kept wanting to fall out. Yeah, that was that. Anyway, that's way too much griping. Griping and gunning. It's in, it's done. If that pops out, I'm welding a sheet of steel over that back window and we're done. Yep, yeah. Well, we've got it working. So, what happened, Piper of the Dugs? Well, Mrs. Piper Doug gave Piper Doug a hand because she knows computers, and called Billy Dog, and we're on wait, we're on hold, we're on wait, we're on hold, got a call back. Finally they called back. Turns out this number 2, somebody had already started using it, or tried to, and we're trying to get this set to run a Silverado. So this is a diesel tuner, not recommended for sale in the US for doing deletes. So why there was a Silverado on it, I don't know. So needless to say, I was on the phone online with the young chappie for 2.5 hours. He went away for an hour to rebuild the program to reflash this unit. Yeah, that was a long morning. Anyway, as you can see, it is working as we speak. Either that or he's programmed rocket ship into this thing, which is going to be equally as much fun. So hopefully this will be the end of that gauge down there, and a whole host of other things. So I'll bring you back when we get further, because I said this could take a while. And so we commence the destruction. As you can see, top of the airbox is gone. I might see if I can just go ahead and get the cold air intake while the truck is going to be sitting here, because it's going to be here for the rest of the weekend. Well, it's going to be here for the rest of the week. Because like I said, the big job, this is not the big job. The big job is going to be dropping the exhaust, because the exhaust has like 9 plugins in it. There's a lot of wiring because of sensors, regen, readouts, all of that goofy stuff. Like once I pull the exhaust, you will see what I'm talking about. It's like something from a spaceship. It's just redonkulous. Anyway, so yeah, I gotta take all of this stuff off. Gotta take this cross pipe, I gotta take all of this stuff off. Almost forgot. Going back to one of Ed Gosling's previous videos. Old tools. Yes, I know I've been called worse. These are things that we have found either stuck to our air seeder by these parts, or just randomly in the fields when we've been working. So yeah, old adjustable wrenches. Probably the best condition one that you could probably still get to work. This one. The rest of them, look like they've been in the ground for a while. These ones. These ones, I don't know. I think these are hole punches. I think these are like for doing bridles and stuff. But yeah, some of these are, yeah, crazy old. So this one here had something here that you could turn up and down. Back in the old days of square nuts, and I think this was probably the same. There was a rotatable thing here. And then this one, going by these, there was a rotatable part here. So yeah, there you go. There's some of our old tools. Okay, back to digging into this thing. Oh, I love this old truck. This is our 03 6.0, and I know everybody rags on the 6.0, but this engine has never been cracked. It's never had the head gasket, never had the head studs done. It's had a high pressure oil pump, which I did myself. It's had IPR, ICP, done all that by myself. She got pep. So while the Dodge is in getting work done in the garage, it's back on the road. Just looking at this. Jeepers. This is the problem with you when you do a late cultivation. Black snow. Lots of it. Hey, ay, 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 ay. People, shelter belts. You want to have all your top minerals blow off. Well, it's the 3rd of February, so happy February, everybody. If I haven't said it already. It's nice to be in the second half of the doldrums. Trying to make sure I don't biffer coming down here, because it's just absolute slush. And oh look, it's foggy again. And Mrs. Piper Doug and her daughter, the unicorn, are in Winnipeg watching friends Diesel Deb's son play volleyball. And there's like an 1/8 of a mile visibility now, which just rolled in, which we were not expecting. Before anybody says, well, what are you going on that way for? You guys you can't see. And you probably can't tell, you really can't tell, it's actually trying to rain. It's spitting with rain as I speech at you. Spitting with rain. 1/8 mile visibility again. 3rd of February. Tell you, old Mr. Bill Gates there and his cloud seeding over in Alberta. I think he might have messed something up. I think he might have broke the weather. I'm all for nice weather. You know, a mild, ooh, that's muddy. For mild winters. But this is like April, end of March even. Which the girls aren't minding too much. They love the fresh melted water. Pardon me. But no, we can do with getting back to winter. Hey, wee button. The miracle baby. Look. A bit of a success story. So this girl here is on the short list. She's going to the retirement pen this year. She's not an older cow, but she's not aging up well. There's no real reason for it. She's just not finishing out. She's maybe 10 years old. So she's a couple of years ahead of schedule. Like that one there, same thing. She's not aging out well. So both of these are going to the retirement pen. But this girl here, yesterday, I came out to do the hay, getting ready to do the straw, and I found her laying there. She'd gone down on the ice, probably fighting at the water trough. She couldn't have get up. She couldn't get her back legs underneath her. She probably laid there a good part of the night. So I dragged her back into the corrals after I did the bedding, put her on some fresh straw, got her onto her fresh side, try and get the other side to warm up, get the feeling back in it, gave her grain, all the rest of it. She never really moved. And then this morning when I came out, she had moved about 10 feet and she was on her other side. So I thought, well, maybe she's trying to get up. She kind of scooted herself forward a little bit, but she wasn't up. So I just thought, oh, well, it's a good sign. I put out the hay and I turn around and here she is, bopping out to the field. So, there's hope. Like I said, we're tentatively believe she's still in calf. We don't know yet. Early signs, but she's definitely retiring. Her and the one that's on the other side there, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of a success. Yay! Now all we need to do is get some sun today. Nice teens. Nice a girl. So yeah, the first time calvers, they are looking fit. There's Bugs. There's his teens. We got Beans up there. Some of these don't have names. Some do. That's the infamous Squiggles, the one that climbs in the Bale feeders. Yeah. She's now a little bit too round to do that, which we're all quite happy about. And I'm sure these guys are happy about too. Yeah. So yeah, they're what are we at now? 3 weeks. Yeah, so some of them are quite fit. Like I said, Teens here, she's quite far on, so's Bugs. Fight the boot. That's their thing with Mrs. Piper Dog. She likes to do fight the boot. Yeah. Some of them don't like getting scratched. Some just like to fight the boot. So this girl, her story is she's actually not from number 18. She was orphaned. Her mom didn't want her, her birth mother, but number 18 lost her baby that year, and we took the calf over to her because she was already started on the bottle. That's probably one of the reasons she's so quiet. And we didn't even have to put 18 in the headlock. 18 came straight over to her, started licking her. She went straight to the teat, and that was that. Dundee. So, yeah. Success story, and like I said, she's a sharp little heifer, so, aren't ya? She's not even the quietest one in this pen, ironically. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, we got some swole going on here. There's some second timers who have never calved before, because we didn't have a great calving season last year on the first timers. So there's a whole bunch in that pen that are first timers as well. So in essence, there's 15 in, we have 15 in here, and there's probably another 10 in this pen that are first timers as well. So we get 25 first timers. So it's gonna be kind of hectic. So started getting the pairing pens set up, so we're ready. We don't usually have a problem. I just like to put them with their baby for a day or two, just to be sure. And it serves us pretty good. Okay. Well, time to start getting at her. So I got one last bit of framing, which I'm starting there. So I got to rejig this end wall here, and then I can get the rest of the roof framing on. I'm gonna go and pick up a flat of rough 2x6 and get the walls boarded in. That way this pen will be complete for the most part, because once the boards are in, it'll be fairly good. And that way it'll let me just keep getting on with the roof and then the walls. That's the plan. because we got 3 weeks and we will be in cabbing proper. 2 weeks and we could be cabbing. I was thinking of getting the rest of this snow piled up in these pans, especially this one, so I can start getting the bedding put down to extend this pan. We just found out that on Thursday they're talking a foot of snow, and we were hoping it was going to freeze before the snow came, but they said no, it's going to snow as the starts to get cold again. So we're going to get snow on top of this stuff. So that's fun. So I don't know what's worse, if that froze into a sheet and then you got snow on top. That would be bad. Either way, it's just bad. It's just awful. I don't know what Jerry's got in his craw here. So I got to go and get ratchet strap and start pulling those frames up whilst I wait for the silage wagon, tractor and the skid steer to warm up. Like, this is just nuts. Like this new, see, this is where the concrete pad was going to go. That we ran out of time, but this is getting done this year, this concrete, and then the rest of that pad's getting done this year. So that'll be the next project after these guys get wrapped up, is to get the structure, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, let's get going. Yeah. Oh, sloppy. Who are you staring at? You're probably gonna have kids in both these pens, you old horn dog, you. We gave him row with both these pens because we switched him, and these two work together. So we switched these out. That way we know everybody has a good shot. So I literally cannot see the house from the end of the driveway. I have never seen this much fog in one continuous weather pattern. And we've literally had 2 weeks of fog in 2024, and we're only 5 weeks in. What the heck is going on? It's like something out of a Stephen King story, waiting for a big creature's legs to come out of the fog. Weird. I need mudguard. Getting splashed. So, for all intents and purposes, that is the delete done. I gotta tape up these plugs because they are defunct now. I'll tape them up and just kind of tuck them out of the way. Yeah, cavernous big hole here. So there's one plug in here to tape up and tuck out of the way. It's not a huge deal. Once we get to the exhaust, that's a huge deal because there's a lot down there, like I was saying. I would recommend, you know, I can't bash on the person that helped me get the bully dog up and running. Once you get it figured out, it's great. I just think there's easier ways of doing this than how Bully Dog has this set up. Edge tuners, there's the live tuners that actually work through your phone. I think I would advise people to go that direction. Now also, these ones were, it's fairly common, these Spilab kits. I would not buy another one. The parts are great. I cannot fault them because the exhaust manifold plates are 1/4-inch plate steel. You have the bung there so you can put a pyrometer onto there for your exhaust gas temperature. That's great. The hardware, awesome. Blank off plate, and then the throttle body replacement. Just kind of can see it down in there. Lovely, like black anodized aluminum, because those parts doesn't matter so much. Where I run into trouble is they have a bracket here to mount everything to, because that thing is gone and all of that nonsense. That thing there, because that's the EGR cooler. That's where all the problems are. The instructions, they don't work. The pictures are terrible. There's no online video of anybody doing this stuff. So I had to sort of make it up as I went. I had to do a lot of bending on the exhaust temperature gauge. That's why there's a plug-in still there, because that the engine does need that to run. So that's one of the ones that you leave behind. So I had to put a fair bit of a bend in there to get it into this hole, because putting it back where it was supposed to be is right in line with this hose. So this hose has a little bit of a kick in it when it's actually not formed that way. This is a straight bit of pipe, so I've got a kick in it, and I've got this pulled over as far as I can go. So, and I don't want to take this heat shield off because they never said to. So the only thing left to do, and why I said tentatively the delete is done, there's a pipe there left open. That pipe is this guy. Now, the problem with that guy is if I hook it up and I mount it to this hole, it's right at the end of this hose. I cannot get it over to this hole because it's under that hose and up against this, and then I don't know where the turbo air boot pipe comes up and gets in the way. So what I might do is get another piece of hose that size and do what they call is the crankcase breather delete, because I've seen a lot of people have bought those kits, and it all basically is a pipe. You can take the pipe, strap it over here and have it go down the frame. Some people put it into a catch can if you don't want dripping on your driveway. I'm a farmer, I don't care. And it's a 2015 with 130,000 kilometers on it. I just had it running there and I had my finger over the vent tube. There was no pressure. This thing doesn't have any blow by yet. So I'm gonna do that because I don't want to be mucking around trying to squeeze this in there and end up breaking that, because apparently these are not cheap, these little guys. It's not much to them, but apparently you don't want to replace them. So next thing, well, once I put the air boot back on, we're going onto the truck. So thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a week. As you saw, we've been everywhere, saving cows, starting to work on the shelter, getting the pens extended, getting ready for calving season. And someday we might see the sun again, but apparently for the long range forecast, there's none for 10 days. I might need to go buy myself one of those sun lamps we were just talking about in the last video. Honest to gosh. Anyway, so in the next video, we're going to be making a big snorkel. So that's going to be fun. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs up too. That's okay too. Tell your friends and tell your enemies. Piper Doug, worth a watch, because you never know, he might just explode. Okay, it's the end of the night again. We'll see you next week, everybody. Teddy bye. Yeah, it's weird. It's like I'm not even, I probably should switch the flash off, but it's not a dirty lens on the camera. That's how thick this fog is. I need to tie a rope to the house. I'll never find my way home.